Mae Makes a Way, the true story of Mae Reeves, hat and history maker. Written by Olugbemisola, Rhuday-Perkovich. Illustrated by Andrea Pippins. Ruffly skirts and puffy sleeves, fussy frills and rows of ribbons. Grandma Lula dressed little Mae all fancy, like a tiny doll. Mae didn't want to be a doll. She wanted to go outside and play in the dirt. But in those fancy clothes, Mae told a beautiful story. She offered hope during hard days. By the early 1900s, when Mae was a girl, slavery had officially ended in the United States. But new segregation laws kept Black people apart and unequal. Instead of liberty and justice, Black citizens like Mae and her family faced violence and oppression. Little Mae and her ruffles and ribbons brought joy in the midst of much suffering. Mae's small hometown was in the segregated South. Vidalia, Georgia, did not have many opportunities for Black families to live their best lives and do what they dreamed. But as Mae grew, she made her own ways to have fun. At school, Mae wrote plays, and she was also the director and star. She designed and sewed fancy clothes for her dolls. Mae made joys, but sorrow came. Mae's parents died when she was only 14, and she and her younger siblings went to live with her grandmother. In the 1920s, lingering turmoil from World War I brought destruction to the world stage, and the jazz age was not jumping for everyone. Black families faced more hardship and pain, and children like Mae had to work like grown-ups. One brother shined shoes, another worked as a babysitter for a white family. Mae was in charge of her younger sisters and brothers, so she learned how to take good care of other people. Like many young Black women of the South in the 1920s and the 1930s, Mae became a teacher. She worked in a one-room schoolhouse with a pot-bellied stove. She was only a teenager. Some of her students were very young, and others were much older, even older than Mae, but she taught them all. Mae was also a newspaper writer, entertaining readers with stories of fancy and fun parties and events in the community. She found ways to celebrate the beauty of her neighbors' spirits, even when there was ugliness and hurt in their lives. During those days, thousands of Black people fled the persecution and cruelty of their segregated southern hometowns for integrated northern cities. Mae was one of those who resisted the voices of oppression that said there was no way out. Mae decided to make a way. With ideas in her head and those doll sewing skills in her hands, she traveled by train from Georgia all the way up north to Chicago, Illinois. At the Chicago School of Millinery, people made many kinds of head coverings, and lots of people needed them. In those days, hats on heads were as common as shoes on feet. But even in integrated cities, Black people lived unequal lives. Black women were often treated as though they were invisible. When a Black woman went out wearing a hat and gloves, there was a chance she'd be shown more respect. Hats were a way for these queens to be seen, shining a light on the dignity they always had. Mae used wire, fabric, steam, and most of all, her imagination to create crowns. She made sassy hats, classy hats, high headpieces, and low caps. She used bows and baubles, created ruffles and bustle. Each hat was an original, like Mae herself. At the Chicago School of Millinery, Black students and white students learned and worked together, side by side. When Mae went back down south to her segregated town and segregated school, she remembered the northern ways. She dreamed of one day making a wide open way for side by side in her life all year round, every day. Mae kept on learning up north and teaching down south. She got married and had a child, William, called Sonny. But when her husband died in an accident, Mae had to figure out how to take care of her son alone. One of her older brothers lived up north in Philadelphia. Mae visited and saw Black people from small southern towns living big northern dreams. She decided to pack her high hopes and make a new way with her son in this city of brotherly love. There, Mae worked in a shop, helping ladies buy glamorous get-ups, dresses, purses, shoes, and jewelry. "I like to make them pretty," she said. Mae also learned how to run a business, buying supplies and refilling stock, managing people, and decorating the store windows. When the shoppers found out about Mae's head-topping masterpieces, they all wanted a bit of her magic, so she started making hats to sell. fun hats with feathers, fancy hats with flowers, and everything in between. A lady could bring in an old hat with a brim and Mae would transform it into a new twisty turban. I felt like an artist, said Mae. Velvet, brocade, satins, and silks. She made hats for a trip to the grocery store or a fancy party, for any occasion or time of day. Mae of Philadelphia was famous. More and more ladies came from all over for one of Mae's original crowns, and her business grew and grew. Mae still wanted to make her own way. A Black-owned business was the kind of progress that most whites didn't want. Many establishments would not even serve Black people, but Black communities made a way out of no way by building their own businesses and schools. Philadelphia was a center of Black business, including banks that were important to dreamers like Mae. In 1941, when she was only 28 years old, Mae went to one of those Black banks, Citizens and Southern Bank, and she got a $500 loan. And then she marched right down the street and rented a space on the first floor of a building on busy South Street. Many Black people had settled in that area, and it was full of restaurants, clubs, and other garment businesses. Now Mae owned one too. With that loan, she became the first Black woman to own a business on South Street and hung a photo of the bank president, Major Wright, in her shop for many years. Mae's Millinery was in the front of the building, and she and her little boy Sonny made their home in the back. Mae was making a living and was making a life as Mae of Philadelphia. Mae made everyone feel their best selves with her glimmery hats, shimmery hats, snappy hats, and happy hats. I just made sure I had the stuff women wanted, no matter what skin color they were, she said. When famous Black entertainers like Marian Anderson, Lena Horne, and Ella Fitzgerald came to town, they left with one of Mae's crowns. Rich white ladies shopped at Mae's too, along with housekeepers, teachers, and the faithful church ladies who believed that Sunday mornings were for showstoppers. Whether a lady click-clacked in high heels from a shiny Black limousine or stepped slow and tired from the public bus, Mae made magic for each and every one. If a customer didn't have the money to pay right then and there, Mae would trust them to take the hat and pay another day. Guess what? Said Mae. They always did. As Mae's little boy grew, she saw that he needed something more than the South Street hustle bustle. She bought a home in West Philadelphia and ran her business from her dining room. Where Mae went, her customers followed. Sometimes Mae, the mom, would be cooking dinner in the kitchen and helping with homework, and Mae the milliner would run to the dining room to help a customer. You do what you got to do. I had to work with my family and make a living too, she said. Many department stores in that area did not serve or hire Black people, so along with her handmade creations, Mae's business also offered important job opportunities and space to be. If a customer was lucky, they could stay for one of Mae's home-cooked meals. Mae always made more than enough. Mae fell in love and married again. She had 2 more children, Donna and Reginald. She kept making a living and making a life. She loved baseball and cheered on the Black teams when they came to town. She and her husband Joel stepped out to fancy dances, and sometimes they'd even hop a train out of town for a good party. Mae volunteered with local and national groups, from her church to the NAACP Civil Rights Organization. Mae lifted as she climbed, raising money to help others in her community and driving older ladies around town in her shiny car wherever they wanted to go. Every summer, she'd close the shop and take the whole family to enjoy weeks of sun and sea air at the New Jersey shore. She'd drive neighborhood kids to the beach so that they could enjoy the sun and sea air too. People called her Mom or Mama Mae because she made a way for many to feel like family. As Mae's family grew and changed, so did her business and community. It was time to do new things to build better tomorrows, even though many people wanted Black women to stay stuck in yesterdays. Could Mae make a new way? The streets of West Philadelphia buzzed with energy from the nearby L train and all kinds of businesses. Woolworth's drugstore, shoe stores, banks, dress shops, and more. But all those businesses were owned by white people. Then, in 1947, a new neon sign gleamed from a shop window with welcome and promise. Mae's Millinery at 41 North 60th Street. and where Mae went, her loyal customers followed, plus new ones from north to south and east to west. As Mae's business grew, she brought other family members from the south to join her up north. She gave them jobs in her shop and made a way for many more. Mae's brother Jack began working in the store as a salesman. He was charming and stylish, like Mae, so Mr. Jack sold a lot of hats, as fast as Mae could create them. Mae guaranteed that each lady had her own hat story to tell. "You can't just plop a hat on your head," Mae would say. "You have to work with it." She'd invite them to sit in front of the mirror to try on her creations. She'd bend and fold, and sometimes she'd offer them a pair of gloves and a handbag too. If a lady was a little down and droopy, Mae would spritz some perfume into the air or give her a touch of lipstick to bring out her bloom. She'd pour a cup of hot, fragrant tea and lend a listening ear. Mae taught her children the lessons she'd learned. When her daughter Donna was born, Mae put her oldest child, Sonny, in charge of his baby sister. He pushed little Donna in her stroller right down to his stickball games, where he could play and keep watch. Later, little brother Reginald enjoyed fishing with their dad, and Donna worked in the shop with Mae. Sometimes Mae had Donna dress up in a black dress and pearls, with a hat, of course, because, as Mae would say, you're not fully dressed unless you wear a hat. Mae and Donna would zip across state lines to New York City or over the ocean to Paris on exciting adventures to find the latest and best feathers, ribbons, and trimmings for Mae's elegant crowns. During the busiest times, like Easter and Mother's Day, family and friends filled the shop, helping Mae make the eye-catching special occasion showstoppers that made her famous. Mae's best friends even became Mae's girls, modeling her creations at fashion shows and fancy teas. Mae was Black, a woman, a mother, and a business owner. None of those were easy to be in the 1940s and 1950s. As Black leaders organized for justice and neighbors shared resources, Mae also made ways for others in her community to prosper. Mae and her husband Joel were involved in local politics, and on election day, they would roll the giant polling machines into Mae's Millinery so that their Black neighbors were able to vote. People came in and enjoyed cookies, tea, and conversation about how to build a community and dream for the next generation. As times changed, ladies' relationships with hats did too. In the 1960s and 1970s, fluffy afros and poofy bouffants meant that Mae's elegant creations and spectacular crowns were no longer in high demand. But one faithful group still wanted elegant hats and dignified hats, flowery hats and feathery hats. Church ladies needed their Sunday morning showstoppers, so she kept her shop open for those special clients for many years. In 1997, when she was 85 years old, Mae's smile still shone. "I'm very happy because I believe doing good things in life makes you happy. I can say that I've worked hard to make others happy too." As Mae got older, it got harder and harder for her to climb up and down the steps from her home to the store. For more than 50 years, she had made many people happy with her hats, but it was time to move on. She went to live in a special place with other elders, sharing memories of her millinery magic. Many of the young workers in Mae's new home had visited her shop with their mothers and family members. They had Mae's millinery tales too. In 2009, a new national museum was announced. The National Museum of African American History and Culture would be the first of its kind, sharing the many stories and memories of Black people in the United States. The museum's curators asked African Americans across the country to bring their special family items and stories to them, so that they could build a museum collection for all the world to see. Mae's shop sat just as she had left it, with her life's work still inside. Hats, molds, ribbons, and the neon sign frozen in time. Donna, now a documentary producer, wondered if an important museum would care about the story of Mae's still stunning creations. When the museum people came to her shop, they cared about Mae's work a lot. Mae's creations were more than hats, they were history. Mae Reeves made a loving, creative life with her family, including her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even great-great-grandchildren. She died when she was 104 years old. Her magnificent work and unquenchable spirit live on. She made the crowns and we can hold them in our hearts. Mae, like so many, made a way out of no way, so we can hold our heads high and our dreams even higher. Pause here to learn more about Mae Reeves in an interview conducted with her daughter, Donna.